Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, peace be upon him, is the fountain of wisdom whose words have guided countless generations. Every statement he made is not just a piece of advice but a lantern that lights up the dark corners of human life. Among his timeless sayings is this profound guidance: abandon superfluities, fools and foolish people will automatically move away from you. These words are short in length but oceans in depth. They carry a principle that can transform our lives if we reflect upon them carefully. To abandon superfluities means to let go of unnecessary things, actions, conversations, and habits that do not add value to our spiritual, intellectual, or moral growth. It means removing the extra, the useless, the meaningless from our lives. Imam Ali is telling us that when we cut off excesses and focus only on what is necessary, wise, and beneficial, the company of fools and foolish people will no longer remain around us, for such people thrive only in an environment of waste, exaggeration, and empty talk. Let us pause and think deeply. What are superfluities? Superfluities are those things in our lives which are beyond need, beyond purpose, beyond benefit. They may be in the form of words, when we speak excessively without meaning. They may be in the form of actions, when we waste time in useless pursuits. They may be in the form of desires, when we crave things that bring us no real joy or value. They may also be in the form of company, when we surround ourselves with people who distract us from truth and wisdom. Imam Ali teaches us that these extra, unnecessary elements attract fools, because fools do not seek depth, they seek distraction. Fools do not thrive on wisdom, they thrive on noise. When you abandon the noise, the unnecessary, the waste, then automatically, without any effort, foolish people will move away from you, because you will no longer be a source of entertainment or comfort for them. This is a lesson not only in personal growth but also in social interaction. Imagine a person who spends his evenings gossiping, joking endlessly, indulging in meaningless talk. Such a person will find many people around him, laughing, joking, wasting time. But if that same person decides to stop gossiping, to abandon extra talk, to replace it with silence, reflection, or beneficial conversation, suddenly many of those people will disappear. They will find him boring, too serious, or too focused. In reality, they are not leaving him, they are being repelled by their own foolishness. Imam Ali is reminding us that by changing ourselves, we can change the company around us. By cutting off superfluities, we cut off the attraction that pulls foolish people towards us. If we look into the life of Imam Ali himself, we see this principle in action. He was a man of utmost simplicity. He abandoned luxuries and extra comforts of this world, even though as a ruler he could have had them easily. His food was simple, often just bread and salt. His clothes were modest. His home was humble. He did not indulge in superfluities, and as a result, he drew to himself people of depth, people of wisdom, people who sought truth. The fools, the opportunists, the shallow-minded, could not remain in his company for long. They found him too pure, too real, too committed to truth. This shows us that the abandonment of superfluities is not just about material possessions, but also about character, lifestyle, and choices. Now let us reflect on our own lives. Today's world is filled with superfluities. Social media alone is a factory of uselessness. Endless scrolling, watching videos that add no value, arguing in comments, posting for attention, these are modern forms of superfluities. And who gathers around us when we indulge in these things? Mostly people who waste time as well. But imagine you abandon these habits. Imagine you limit your screen time, avoid arguments, and instead use technology for learning, for sharing wisdom, for connecting with people who uplift you. You will see a transformation. Many of those who used to surround you online will drift away, but in their place you will attract seekers, thinkers, and sincere souls. Imam Ali's wisdom is timeless, and in every age it applies with the same power. Superfluities also exist in our speech. How often do we speak unnecessarily? How often do we enter into debates that are fruitless? How often do we complain, gossip, or joke excessively? These are all forms of superfluities. The more we engage in them, the more foolish people surround us, because they love this kind of empty noise. But when we abandon this, when we speak less, and when we speak only what is necessary and beneficial, fools automatically withdraw. They cannot survive in the atmosphere of wisdom. Silence itself becomes a shield, protecting us from the foolish and their games. In our actions too, we see this wisdom. Many of us fill our days with activities that do not truly benefit us. Endless shopping, chasing trends, attending every party, watching every new show, buying things we do not need, these are all superfluities. And who joins us in these actions? People who live on the surface, who measure life by appearances. But if we abandon these activities, and instead focus on learning, serving others, worship, family, and building meaningful experiences, then the crowd of foolish people slowly disappears. They find us strange, uninterested in their shallow pursuits. But in reality, we are simply living with purpose. There is also a spiritual dimension to Imam Ali's saying. Superfluities weigh down the soul. The heart cannot shine when it is covered with the dust of unnecessary desires. Fools live in this dust, for they cannot see the light. But the wise person removes these layers and allows the heart to be pure. When the heart is pure, foolishness cannot remain near it. It is like light and darkness, they cannot exist in the same place. If you bring light, darkness flees. Similarly, if you abandon superfluities, foolish people flee. Let us also consider the opposite scenario. What happens if we do not abandon superfluities? What if we keep indulging in extra talk, extra actions, extra desires? We will notice that our lives become filled with people who waste our time, drain our energy, and pull us down. Fools will surround us, and wisdom will be far from us. Imam Ali is teaching us prevention. Remove the root, and the problem disappears. If you stop feeding foolishness, it will not stay near you. There is a psychological truth here as well. Human beings attract what they are. If you are living with unnecessary things, you will attract unnecessary people. If you live with focus and clarity, you will attract people of focus. This is why Imam Ali connects the inner act of abandoning superfluities with the outer result of fools moving away. It is a law of nature. It does not require you to fight or argue with fools. You do not need to tell them to leave. They will leave by themselves, because they will find nothing in you that matches their interests. This principle is also essential for leadership. A leader who indulges in superfluities will always be surrounded by flatterers and fools. But a leader who lives with simplicity, focus, and seriousness will attract sincere supporters and thinkers. Imam Ali himself was such a leader. He could not be flattered with luxuries. He could not be bribed with wealth. He abandoned all superfluities, and therefore, fools had no place near him. This is why his companions were often people of great intellect and sincerity. On a personal level, we can practice this teaching by starting small. Begin with your words. Reduce unnecessary speech. Speak only when it benefits. Then move to your habits. Cut off one useless habit and replace it with a meaningful one. Then look at your company. Notice who gathers around you. Are they people of depth or people of noise? Slowly, as you abandon superfluities, you will see a change in your circle. This transformation may feel lonely at first, because many will leave. But remember, Imam Ali is teaching us that those who leave are not a loss. They are fools who would have wasted your time. Their absence is a gift. Another layer of meaning in Imam Ali's words is that fools cannot survive in the climate of wisdom. When you abandon superfluities, you create a climate of seriousness and depth. Fools suffocate in such a climate. They seek air in laughter without meaning, in endless talk, in pointless drama. When they do not find it, they escape. But wise people, seekers of truth, are drawn to you, because they breathe in the same air. In this way, abandoning superfluities becomes a filter, removing the foolish from your life and attracting the wise. Let us also connect this to the concept of time. Time is life. Every moment wasted in superfluities is a piece of life that will never return. Fools waste time and drag others into wasting it. Imam Ali's advice is a shield for your time. If you abandon the unnecessary, your time becomes protected. And when your time is protected, your life is meaningful. Fools, who live on wasted time, cannot stay near you, because you are no longer a source of free energy for them. This is why the saying is so practical. It is about safeguarding the most precious gift you have, your time and life. Think also about relationships. Many relationships in this world are built on superfluities. People gather because of status, wealth, gossip, entertainment. These bonds are shallow, and they attract foolishness. But relationships built on sincerity, truth, and shared values are free of superfluities. They are strong and lasting. When you abandon the extra, false relationships collapse, and only the true ones remain. Imam Ali is pointing us to this purification. To lose fools is not a loss, it is a gain. In our age of consumerism, superfluities are not just personal habits but a system. The world encourages us to buy more, want more, and waste more. To abandon superfluities today is an act of resistance. It means not being fooled by advertisements, not chasing trends, not measuring life by possessions. It means choosing simplicity, contentment, and purpose. And naturally, in such a lifestyle, foolish people who measure life by shallow standards cannot remain. They will drift away, while true companions will remain. Therefore, this saying of Imam Ali is both personal and universal. It is advice for individuals, families, leaders, and societies. If we as individuals abandon superfluities, our lives will be filled with wisdom and peace. If societies abandon superfluities, their culture will be strong and pure. If leaders abandon superfluities, their nations will prosper. In every dimension, the principle works the same way. In conclusion, the saying of Imam Ali is a key to wisdom. Abandon superfluities, fools and foolish people will automatically move away from you. It tells us that we do not need to fight foolishness directly. We only need to remove the unnecessary from our lives. When we do so, fools disappear naturally, like darkness fleeing from light. What remains is clarity, wisdom, and companionship of the sincere. It is not an easy path, because superfluities are tempting, and fools are many. But if we walk this path, we will find ourselves in the company of truth and wisdom. And that is the true success of life.